Look around. Someone with half your talent, less intelligence, and weaker instincts is rising faster than you. Why? Because they've mastered one thing you haven't, the art of certainty. While you hesitate, they act. While you overthink, they project conviction. And while you wait for the perfect moment, they seize every opportunity, because the world rewards the bold, not the brilliant. Someone less capable than you is succeeding, and here's the brutal truth: they project power. They speak decisively. They move like they belong everywhere. And people believe them. Not because they're better. But because confidence is not a trait, it's a weapon. And right now, they're using it to win the war you don't even realize you're in. While you analyze, rehearse, and ask yourself if you're ready, someone else is already living the life that should have been yours. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago: boldness gets results. Skill helps, but hesitation kills. The world doesn't hand power to the most deserving, it gives it to those who look like they already own it. This is not about comfort or motivation. It's about control. This guide is your awakening. It's going to dismantle hesitation. It will force you to speak like a man who's already been chosen. No more softness. No more shrinking. No more apologizing for being powerful. You weren't born weak, you were trained to obey. Schooled in politeness. Programmed to serve. Conditioned to seek approval. That hesitant voice in your head, the one that flinches, doubts, and begs for permission, isn't you. That's the inner servant. And if you don't kill it, it will keep you small forever. Machiavelli didn't whisper. He commanded. He didn't wait to be understood. He moved first and let others figure it out later. He didn't ask for power. He seized it. Because those who ask do not deserve. And your transformation begins the same way, through inversion. When you want to shrink, expand. When you want to explain, stay silent. When you want to apologize, hold their gaze. Confidence isn't a mindset, it's an identity, forged through defiance. Not against others, but against the parts of yourself that were trained to kneel. Walk faster. Take up space. Stop nodding. Drop the softness from your tone. Speak like your words are decisions, not requests. Rule number 1, if it makes you smaller, kill it. This applies to thoughts, habits, and even people. If it causes hesitation, confront it. If it weakens you, eliminate it. If it seeks approval, laugh at it. The world may praise kindness, but in truth, nice men are tools. Used, discarded, and forgotten. Powerful men aren't nice. They are precise, calculated, and immune to emotion. You don't need to be liked, you need to be feared by your former self. Powerful men don't speak loudly, they radiate presence. Their silence speaks. Their stillness demands respect. When they walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts. Not because they yell, but because they carry the gravity of certainty. You don't need approval. You need to become the force people respond to, whether they like you or not. Speak rarely, but when you do, speak like your words are law. No filler. No apology. No softness. Stop saying, "I could be wrong, I'm just saying," or, "Does that make sense?" These are escape hatches. Kill them. Your voice should sound like a conclusion, not a conversation. Say it once, and let silence enforce it. That silence is your weapon. It dares others to challenge you, and they won't. Your tone is the real message. Words are noise, but your delivery is power. Speak slowly. Speak deeply. Eliminate the nervous energy. You don't rise by being loud. You rise by making people feel like you've already decided, and they're just catching up. And when challenged, never defend. Never explain. Simply say, "That's incorrect." Then move on. Reality isn't up for debate. That's how you dominate the room, through unshakable certainty, not volume. But confidence without control is decoration. You can walk with purpose, speak with force, and still crumble the moment someone disrespects you. That's not power, that's performance. Real dominance is psychological. If words can still trigger you, you're still a servant. Power begins inside. Machiavelli knew, the most dangerous man is the one who can't be moved. You must become emotionally untouchable. Not robotic. But unreachable. Praise doesn't soften you. Insults don't provoke you. Silence doesn't unsettle you. Every emotional trigger must be neutralized. This is how you win the internal war. You stop reacting. You start calculating. If they insult you, extract data. If they praise you, question their motive. If they reject you, withdraw and evolve. You must become so psychologically fortified that no one dares manipulate you. And if they try, they quickly learn the truth, you're the one man they cannot move. Rejection. It's not personal. It's positional. If they said no, it means they thought they could survive without you. Good. Let them try. Your job is to make them feel that absence like a wound. You don't chase. You don't react. You withdraw. Not to sulk, but to build. You were never rejected. They were disqualified. And when you return, when your presence haunts the room, they'll realize they were wrong. But by then, you'll have evolved past their reach. Don't seek revenge. Don't get emotional. Get undeniable. The world doesn't reward feelings. It rewards force. Certainty. Gravity. From this moment on, you don't need understanding. You don't need validation. You don't even need to be liked. You need only one thing, to become the kind of man who cannot be controlled. They'll test you. Praise you. Reject you. Ignore you. None of it will matter. Because you're not here to be understood. You're here to be unshakable. Legends don't explain. They don't chase. They don't ask. They decide. And the world follows. The death of the servant, the rise of the sovereign. Now that you've made it this far, there's only one truth left to confront. The version of you that hesitated, is dead. The man who waited to be chosen. The one who needed approval. The one who spoke with doubt, moved with uncertainty, and questioned his own right to dominate the room, he no longer exists. You didn't just read words. You engaged in warfare, a psychological and spiritual war against your own conditioning. You've dismantled the servant that society built in you. The obedient boy who was rewarded for good behavior, trained to fear rejection, and manipulated by praise. You've seen how this inner servant was never you, it was installed. Programmed. Repeated. Reinforced. And now, it has been burned. What rises in its place is not merely a man, but a sovereign. A force. A presence. Not built on arrogance, noise, or empty bravado, but on stillness, clarity, and control. You are no longer a seeker, you are a source. You don't chase situations or people. You don't attempt to prove your value. You are the standard now. And the world must recalibrate to meet you. Understand this, the moment you choose to become untouchable, most people will misunderstand you. Good. You are not here to be understood. You are here to become unshakable. You're not part of the herd anymore. You walk alone, not because you're lonely, but because your frequency no longer tolerates weakness, noise, and manipulation. Your silence now terrifies. Your stillness commands respect. Your words carry weight, not because of volume, but because of precision. The final test, emotional sovereignty. This entire transformation rests on one principle, emotional sovereignty. Because if anyone can trigger you, you're still a tool. If anyone can make you flinch, explain, justify, or chase, they still own a piece of you. And true power cannot be borrowed. It cannot be shared. It must be owned. Entirely. Coldly. Without apology. So now, when someone insults you, you don't defend. You analyze. You collect data. You smile slightly, not out of amusement, but out of recognition. They've just shown you their position in the hierarchy. And it's beneath you. When someone praises you, you don't melt. You pause. You don't become softer, you become sharper. You ask, why now? You never let compliments affect your center. The same goes for rejection, ignorance, or absence. If someone disappears, good. Let them experience the weight of your absence. Not with anger, but with indifference. Because indifference is not coldness, it's control. And control is the real currency of kings. The shift, from reaction to calibration. From now on, you don't react, you calibrate. You don't speak to be liked, you speak to finalize. You don't walk into rooms looking for connection, you walk in and change the temperature. You don't answer questions to prove your intelligence, you speak like a verdict. And when you do not speak, your silence speaks louder than any scream. Every action becomes deliberate. Every movement becomes intentional. Every breath becomes a statement. You're no longer playing chess as a piece. You're now the hand that moves the board. And here's the secret most men never learn, this shift isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. It happens in quiet decisions. You start walking slower, not from fear, but from dominance. You start saying no without explanations. You stop over-explaining. You stop asking to be seen. You stop needing to be understood. And the world starts to notice, not immediately, but inevitably. People will begin to ask. What changed about him? Why does he feel different? Why do I feel smaller around him now? You won't answer. Because the answer is not verbal, it's energetic. You've become what they fear but can't define. Kill the noise, master the room. You don't need more books. You don't need another coach. You don't need a tribe of broken men trying to feel better about their weakness. You need only one thing, stillness. Because within stillness, you locate your true center. Most men talk too much, post too often, and explain too loudly. Why? Because they're still afraid they're invisible. But true power doesn't try to be seen. It makes others feel blind without it. You don't need to be known. You don't need to be viral. You need to be felt, in silence, in absence, in dominance. That's the level you rise to now. Final rule, never be owned. You own no one anything. Not your attention. Not your softness. Not your energy. The man you've become no longer plays by the rules of approval. He creates his own standard and enforces it through energy, silence, and surgical movement. You don't ask for time, you command it. You don't ask for space, you occupy it. You don't ask for respect, you become the embodiment of it. And when someone disrespects you, you don't retaliate. You don't chase revenge. You simply disappear from their universe. And your absence becomes their reminder that access to you was never a right, it was a privilege. A rare, dangerous privilege they'll never earn again. This is the highest form of power, to move without needing to be noticed, to speak without needing to be right, and to leave without saying goodbye. Let them feel the cost. The final gift you give the world is scarcity. You no longer make yourself available to people who don't meet your standard. You don't educate them. You don't fix them. You let them feel the cost of losing you. And when you rise again, stronger, colder, sharper, they will remember. They will feel it. And they will know, they lost access to something they'll never control again. Not because you changed to be more palatable. But because you reclaimed what was always yours, dominion. Walk like a weapon. Now, every room you enter is yours. Every gaze you hold is deliberate. Every silence you own is sacred. You don't argue with fools. You don't explain your worth. You don't prove your power. You are the proof. You don't chase, because you've become the one who is chased. You don't wait. Because you've become the one who moves first. You don't ask, because you've become the answer. This isn't about self-help. It never was. This was about war, internal war. And now, the war is over. The servant is dead. The sovereign has risen. The room is watching. Now go move the world, without saying a word.